Okay, this video is called Food Pyramids. I'm just going to show a couple different food pyramids. The reason for this talk is really the first slide. I thought this was kind of funny. Okay, so this is what they say people are going to be eating just in a couple years from now. I hope that's not true. Doesn't look very healthy. Obviously, this stuff is overrated. Anyways, I thought that was kind of funny. Okay. Here is the sort of Harvard health pyramid, which is obviously a joke. Right at the bottom, at the base of the pyramid, they recommend consuming lots of these cooking oils. You know, not just olive oil too, which is bad. They're all bad. Soy oil, all these other things. They're all bad. And kind of what's the point of this slide? This is coming from the Harvard School of Public Health. And it's a joke, okay? The so-called theoretically most prestigious, respected academic institution, medical place, is a joke. It's not even, like I said, it's not even mediocre. It's just bad. It's wrong. If you follow this advice, you will be fat and sick and high risk for diabetes, coronary artery disease, dementia, etc. You know, they recommend meat, they recommend dairy, they recommend cheese. It's entirely stupid. They recommend butter and alcohol. It's retarded, okay? So just so you know, you should not have any respect for them. They're not trying to help you. I'm going to guess that industry funding probably affected these decisions. So you just should know that. That's why you're on your own. You better get educated because there's no big system that's going to come and help you. Okay, here is from the sort of Physicians Committee Responsible Medicine, Neil Bernard. And, you know, obviously he's a real smart guy. So this was his power plate that he calls it. I didn't find a pyramid for him. And this makes sense. I pretty much agree with this in terms of, you know, grains. So he divides starches up into the grains and into the legumes. Okay, so they're both good. Legumes are high in protein. So you don't want to overdo it on them, but they're good. Fruits, okay, and veggies. Okay, so that's a nice appealing plate. And then these are the good foods up here. These are ones to avoid. Okay, fine. The one thing I disagree with him in a very big way is he's a big promoter of soy. And I think that's completely wrong. And now there's some people who promote soy, and I think they do it just because they're lazy. Like that breast surgeon who promotes it. She just, I think, is too lazy to read the papers. There's other people who promote it because I think they're a little bit young and ignorant, like Mike the Vegan. I like Mike the Vegan, but I think he's a little young and weak, you know, that he let himself get talked into promoting soy like a dummy. You need to read those papers a little more carefully, Mike the Vegan. Go back to the stuff before it became a corporate profitable food, and you will see there are a lot of problems with it. But I like Mike the Vegan. I think he's nice. He's funny. He does his best to try to help people. Okay, who else? But yeah, you know, I think Bernard, he's smart. He's real smart. And so is one of the other famous nutrition experts. And I think them promoting soy is really bogus, okay? I've done a bunch of lectures on it. I don't want to get into it now, but I'm just saying that makes me wonder. When somebody goes bogus on something and it's obvious they're going bogus on something, then you have to wonder what else are they going bogus on. So I've seen a lot of nutrition experts being what I would call like the 80-20 club. They'll give you 80% good information, but 20% bad information where they're trying to sell something or promote something bad. Some of them are even 70-30. So they get your trust because you know they're smart and they're right about some important things, but then they BS you on other things. So I've never intentionally BS'd you. There's some things I won't talk about, but I don't ever BS you. And I talk about more things than anyone else will because I don't have a business. I don't really care. I'm just doing this as a hobby. So, anyways. Okay, here's McDougall's. Unfortunately, this is, was kind of, I don't get the best resolution on this picture, but what's unique about McDougall's approach is he's really, really heavy on the starch. Okay, he's recommending, 70 to 85 or 90% of your calories from starch. This particular illustration shows 70% starch. And he's actually kind of downplays fruits a little bit. He recommends only, 1 to 3 servings of fruits per day. He thinks people sometimes overeat them. Okay, what else? Then veggies. Not a lot of calories in veggies, of course, and then some water. They made this water bowl, I think, bigger than it has to be. But anyways, this is sort of the McDougall approach. It's said. Here's my food pyramid. Down here is all the basic things that make you healthy. Family, friends, relationships, exercise, get your sun, your sleep, have a religion, that all makes you healthier. And then starches, of course, are the main thing. I would agree with McDougall on that, except I eat a lot of fruit, and I think fruit's good if you can get it. Fruit's expensive. It doesn't store that long. Some fruits I think have problems, like bananas. Yeah, they taste great, but they're really sweet. They're bred to be really sweet, so they by themselves can cause rebound hypoglycemia. Veggies, of course, are good. I recommend avoiding avocados. We've talked about that before because I don't like what they're using to so-called keep them fresh. We've talked about that before. Starts with the letter A, ends in L. Vitamin B12, methylcobalamin is the best version. I don't think cyano is a good idea. Okay, this is just, I made it into a plate for the Spartan vegan diet. Just, a low-fat, low-sodium vegan diet. Also, the thing that's different about my recommendations is I recommend organic only. If you can't afford organic, when you get non-organic, at least don't eat any soy or any corn, and try to avoid things that also might be sprayed with GP, for example. Non-organic beans are often sprayed with GP, which I don't like. So anyways, that's the food plate. And then I got one more slide, I think, here. Oh, I got two more slides. Okay, so this was just having fun. I call this a diet nirvana pyramid. As you move up the diet from the paleo, keto, low carb, health for morons, you kind of work your way up. And I know if you've seen my lectures before, you sort of seen this stuff. Okay, so I know that. But I never know. A lot of times people watch my lectures never seen my stuff before. That's why I sometimes repeat stuff. So sorry for people who've seen more of them being bored, but that's why I do it. And this was also, I thought, kind of funny about how the healthcare pyramid works in terms of like the attitudes of healthcare employees. The most junior persons, they tend to love the patients, and their families are all a bunch of patients, okay? And they're very nice, and that's all great. The next level, I call it the thintelligence silos. I got that word from Michael Crichton, thintelligence. Somebody who really knows one narrow area, but not necessarily more. And this is a lot of your professionally educated and trained healthcare providers. And they mean well, but they don't know anything about nutrition, toxicology, and they've sort of been conditioned to never speak about things that are real important, like religion. And then you get up to another level like hospital owners, and they're really business people. In my experience, they just want money, and they really don't give a rat's tail about too much else. And even if they're a doctor, they're usually being controlled by somebody above them who reminds them directly or indirectly they better focus on the money. And then you get the highest up one, the big companies that sort of control the medical literature. And, they just want people to sell their stuff to make money. And they could care less about what's accurate, truthful, or reality. And they will do anything for money. And that's why I would recommend you should not trust the healthcare system for most things. Don't get me wrong. There are some excellent doctors, and they will give you good help. And there are things you absolutely need the healthcare system for. For like acute stuff, it's great. And for some chronic, complicated stuff, it's great. But in general, be suspect of a lot of stuff because it's all BS. It's all just advertising to sell drugs.